Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Steve, hi. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you.
So some people are coming in already, and Steve's been here before. We did some cool terminal color stuff, messing with color schemes, messing with base 16 and all of that. So that was a fun time. You can go watch that stream. It's all archived on the YouTube channel. But today we're going to do some programming. So a bit more directional in our goals today. And so we'll talk about that. We'll go into it. I can give some context once we sort of dig into the weeds. But how was your Christmas, man? It's been a couple days now.
Yeah. Oh, it was good. Drove down to my wife's family. It was about 3 hours south of us, so wasn't too bad. Had a great time. Got some cool stuff, so
Got cool
overall.
stuff. Nice.
Yeah, pretty relaxing, and I was just like, it's nice to have a break. Been really busy. So yeah.
Yeah, it's
How
good to
about
slow
yourself?
down sometimes. Yeah, mine was nice. I had my family over at my house. So I got parents and a brother were hanging out
Nice.
with me and my girlfriend. So we had a good time, and I got a couple gifts. Not a big gift here for us, but that's all right. I don't mind
Yeah, cool.
just having quality time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What's up? Look at this. Ian's here. Pone's here. I know you guys.
Nice.
I think more will come for sure. Looks like we got almost 10 people here already. Um, feel free to tell us in chat, how was your holidays? I know we got another one coming up. I took Friday off, so we're going to hang out. Different room? No, same room. We changed it up. We're going to see this in a second, but I went green screen. I'm going to try to go full green screen here soon. I have sort of a what do we call it? It's a work
Oh,
in
you got your
progress.
backpack. Nice.
This blue sheet isn't quite good enough to give me everything perfect, but yeah. So soon I'll be like fully green screened, which I think will be
Nice.
a nice polished look. All right. Well, we got heat waves in Australia.
Ooh, yikes.
Sorry to hear that. We had a very hot year in Texas, but it's now our winter. And you get Christmas on the beach in Australia. I have some Australian friends, so I know how it goes. Cool, cool. All right. So for those that want to know kind of what we're doing today on stream, I've been pretty regularly contributing to my Smart Session Manager, and it has gone fairly well, but the code base is getting a little bit bloated, and at this point, it's like spaghetti code. And every time we want to like add a new feature, it requires quite a bit of like moving code around. Like the code has to be completely moved, which causes a lot of problems with merge conflicts. It also causes a lot of headache when it comes to like navigating. It's like if this, then that kind of logic. But if it's all procedural and in one file, then there's not really an opportunity for growth. At least as I've been coding live some of these features and stuff. So we're going to do a rewrite. And I'm excited for this. I'm ready for this. I have touched GoLang in the past. And so now I'm at this point where I'm just ready to kind of go into it full force. And Steve came on to show us a CLI that he's built. And so you can give us some tips and kind of explore the code base a little will be fun. And so that's the plan.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Let me go ahead and I'll share my screen. And I will clarify too that I'm absolutely not a GoLang expert. I'm like
Sure.
very noobish, but I think that's the great thing about GoLang is if you know some general programming principles, then
Oh, no,
you can
nice.
basically just do whatever, So that's what I love about it.
Nice.
So some context behind it. I'm not sure. Do I need to do anything to share my screen, or do you have
I'll bring it
anything
up for
open?
us.
Cool, awesome, sweet.
Boom.
Uh, yeah. So here we go, and I think I'll try to increase this. There we go. Is that a
Yeah,
little
let's
bit
bring
easier
it
to
up
read?
more. Let's keep going if you
More.
can. More font. Is this the new font you talked to me about?
Yeah, it is actually.
The new
This is
fancy font? Look
the
at you.
Commit Mono.
Commit mono.
The website was really nice, and I was like, I guess I should check it out.
It
And
is a
honestly,
cool site.
yeah, it's nice. And yeah, I just downloaded it, patched it with Nerd font, so everything works. And
Nice.
yeah, I'm digging it.
I'll tell
Pretty
you about fallback fonts after stream. Sounds like you need a
nice,
fallback font in your life.
probably. Yeah. So context behind why I built the CLI. So for my job, Pinata, that's this thing. We are basically an upload service to IPFS. We had a Node CLI written in JavaScript that was kind of struggling, and so one day I was like, I really would like to see how this does in Go. So I kind of broke down its main components and slowly built out, the CLI. But of course, one of the things you go through when you have to do that is figuring out, like, okay, so am I going to build this from scratch, or is there like a framework I'm going to use to build the CLI itself? And so I went down several different paths and looked at different things, and I settled on the your fave CLI. So I'll show you that. But just the way it works is, I just have this command, and it works like pretty much like any other CLI you would expect to work. It gives you kind of like a quick description, how to use it, different commands. And so I've already authorized it. So I can basically do pinata u upload, and I can basically upload any file. So let's see here. I think I have like a image on here. So I could just click that. Oh, didn't spell it right. That would help. Always the spelling, man.
Got to spell right. Yep.
Yep. Oh, there we go. There we go. So really simple. You basically do pinata U for upload, or you could just type out the full letter upload. So the CLI is able to do aliases or full commands. And then, yeah, it's pretty simple. It shows a progress bar, gives a success, and when it's successful, it gives the CID for the file size and date and all that stuff. So that's a real bare bones basic of it. And like I said, I'll have to delete that later. I'll have to. This is the your fave CLI. It has a V1 and V2. I think I used V2. It's super super simple, and you basically declare the app itself, which gives you usage, actions, names, and from there you can basically build commands. So back on this here, we'll go into the actual code base. So this is the actual main Go file. And I have kind of like my basic imports, just a couple here. Got a couple of structs that I pass in. We have the app itself, the name, usage, and then we go into the commands. And the commands is just like multiple objects. And what's really great is you can just kind of make as many of these as you want, and then use functions or commands from other files. And with Go, it just automatically imports those, so it's really easy to use. So my CLI, it's really simple. It only has two commands. We have two objects. We just have auth, and then you have the alias. So you can basically put in a string. Usage, which is basically kind of like the description. If you just typed it in, what is it going to do? What the arguments are. So what you're supposed to pass in. And then basically you have the actual action, and this is the function that you're going to run. And so this basically is taking in arguments. So when you're going to pass something into the command itself to feed into a function, that's what you do. So it handles an error if there's no JWT or anything passed into it. It's going to throw an error, and then otherwise it's going to run save WT. So that's going to go to this function here, and so basically, you can have any kind of functions you want, and then just name them right there in that main.go file. And so this one basically will take an API key and then save it to a dot file. That's pretty much it. And then the other one is upload.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
I think it's pretty straightforward. The two things that I found were really helpful in the docs and everything. Let me increase the size of this too. Um, this has like a really great way of slowly building up into different stuff. So, it has like a quick example of like, here's a greet one. You can follow it and basically get used to how it works. Then you can add in arguments and then your flags. So you can
Yeah,
also
I
do
was curious about
flags as
flags.
well. So it handles pretty much everything, and you can basically do different logic based on what flags are passed in. Subcommands. So if I wanted to do pinata upload and then have an extra command in there, I could do that. Um,
Right.
so it handles all of that, and I think my favorite thing about the CLI versus some of the other ones I was looking at, like this framework, is its ability to just organize really clean, structure. It's just like really
Yeah.
simple. Here's the app, here's your commands, and then your sub commands are nested inside of your other commands too, which I think is
Cool.
just awesome.
Oh
Um,
yeah, this is great.
yeah, so I'm personally a fan of this one. I know a lot of people like I think Cobra was like another one. There's like a few others that are really cool. And the only other thing I would also recommend checking out is GoReleaser. So I'm not sure if you've ever used this tool before, but it basically helps you with publishing any kind of releases you have and publishing the binaries. So,
Right.
I think, so for instance, if I go to, let's go here and then just let me find the CLI. There it is.
I know
And
you have to deal
so,
with distributions too, right? Like package
right.
managers and stuff. Yeah,
Exactly, and so that's
totally.
what GoReleaser does, and so you can actually see here, there's basically all of the releases and different binaries that you can download, and it'll work on multiple platforms, which is really, really sweet. And this basically handles everything. You basically have a YAML file where you basically
Cool.
outline everything. So, let's see here.
Go
GoReleaser
releaser.
YAML, you can basically go
Looks.
into all the names, all the different types of files,
Oh, nice.
what
It
kinds.
does change logging too. That's nice.
It does, yeah, and it's a literally like a one command go. Like, you basically,
Love it.
push your Git stuff up, add a tag release to it, and then just do go releaser release, and it will create a dist folder, which I think I might have already cleaned up and gotten rid of here. Actually, that might just be hidden.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, but it builds it and
Yeah.
then it uploads
Yep.
it to the appropriate places. Well, I guess you're not
Yep.
uploading. I guess you're just pushing and
Oh, no.
connecting to
Yeah. So it
the
has
appropriate
multiple things. So
places.
I'm pretty sure you can actually set up like homebrew if you wanted to.
Yep.
So it'll automatically upload to GitHub and everything. So definitely recommend this. The only downside, or like I think the only thing that I haven't actually fully tested out yet, which I really need to, is actual signing. So CLI right now will probably work just fine if you have Linux, but if you're using Mac OS, like they require all of your software to have notary and signing. And so you have to
Yeah.
have like an Apple developer account. But this handles all of that as well. So if you have all the right
Mm,
credentials and everything, it will take care of
nice.
all of your signing and everything. So
Yeah,
yeah,
sweet.
that's pretty much it. Yeah. I like it a lot.
That's it, huh?
Boom.
That's it. That's all I got to do. All right, we're done, guys. We can ship it. Cool.
Hard
No, I
part
love
is
that.
just building out the Go project itself. I think that's what's nice about your
Right.
fave is like you get to focus on the core functionality of what your app is going to do, and then
Right.
you just plug it right in. Like you can't
Right.
get any better than that. That's what it's supposed to do. So I love
Cool.
it.
No, that makes total sense. I may just start messing with it, and if, I don't like it, I can create a branch and try again with a different project. I've done a bit of research, and from what I can tell, Cobra is more like feature filled, like it's more
Mhm.
complex and there's more you can do with it, but with it comes the sort of learning curve and complexity and probably boilerplate code and
Yeah,
things.
that sounds
So
right.
I'm feeling like this project is going to become a lot more, which I have some stuff to talk about and announce like today in this conversation about where the project's going with it being converted to Golang. But the main thing for me is going to be coming up with just a simple design pattern that lets me create layers of abstraction. And so as we
Mm,
need different things, we just use different abstractions. And
nice.
so should be pretty good, should be pretty easy. I think the hardest part for me moving forward is like I want to make a CLI and then I want to have a Tmux plugin. And then kind of the fun part about this is there may be a WesTerm plugin, there may be a Zellige plugin, there may be a Kitty plugin. So there are other tools that have session managers. And it's
Mm,
sort of my intent that maybe we expand the idea of this project out to other session managers um, with just at least one or two layers of abstraction. It's pretty easy to offer the main core functionality and then just add an interface that interacts with whatever said session manager or tool it is. So
yeah.
that's kind of the idea. But either way, even if we don't get to go that far with the project, it'll just be really nice to have a proper programming language with unit testing and you know types and things like that. So that's definitely the plan forward. And I have sort of, I guess I'll screen share today. I usually just do my OBS stuff. Can I share? Yes, I can. All right, so we'll move that. I'm going to share this one. And then I'm realizing I got to zoom in too. So the idea is going to be, I'm calling it Sesh for the meantime. What do you think of this name, Sesh?
I love it. Yeah.
It's Smart Session Manager. So the original name was the proof of concept and a binary that was bound to the letter T. And I was like, that doesn't really mean much. And other people have already pushed back and said, I want to use T for other things, or I don't want to use the single letter. So that's sort of the plan forward. I guess my main question in getting started with the project is, do you put things all in the Go directory in your computer? Or do
No, I
you
don't.
just like
Well,
put it in like a repos folder?
I put it in a repos folder.
Okay.
So at least when I'm developing the project, what's really
Yeah.
nice though is some of the really cool things with GoTo, and what I actually have is the recommended install method for the CLI now, since I don't have signing set up, is basically have
Yeah.
people just go ahead and download Go. And if you clone the project and just do Go install, it will basically install that CLI
Yeah. Yeah,
to
totally.
your Go repo. So it's super cool. Yeah, that's
Oh, it ends up, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. Um, what is it? TR? No, TP. This was last week's stream. We can
I love
instantly
that.
clone. Look
Yeah,
at that, Ian. It worked.
so cool.
Ken's having nightmares about Go Path, apparently.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sage,
I
yeah.
know. All right. So, I mean, at this point, it's just a matter of sort of going through this and not GoReleaser or fav or fave. And they recommend what they got docs. Getting started. Yep. So you got your main file. Do you usually put Go projects in a source directory? I was curious kind of how you decided to organize yours. You didn't go that path.
Let me take a look here. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I guess you totally could.
And
I just had
Dole's
everything in one
projects,
root.
he doesn't either. He's got a main file. And then what are some other ones? Lazy Git is a popular project I use. And it is, yeah, so there's like this entry file, right?
Yeah. And I think that might be because of how
Main.go.
Go builds and runs stuff, maybe. But you can have
I think
directories within
so.
some stuff, you know. So
Yeah. And they tell you CLIs, let's learn more.
I remember going through this, I think that video or the slide thing, and it was kind of meh.
It was kind of meh. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I think it basically walked you through like Cobra or something like that.
So they're going to say mod init. Interesting. Initialize your
Yeah,
module.
yeah. I
Set
remember
up your
that.
project. Command for executable files, package for reusable packages, internal for private packages. Yeah, these are just some general suggestions. And there's usually like a main go, right? So
I think if you just go into the root of your directory that you want to use, you just go do like go mod init. It'll actually put all that up for you, I think.
I see. So we'll do joshmandesky.com
Oh,
dot
so you
com
gotta.
slash, oh, that's not right. And then sesh v0.
Or just maybe just sesh. I think you just do sesh if you want. I don't know. Should I try it? Okay. No.
I see. The first one is,
Oh,
there
gotcha.
you go, go
There
mod.
you go. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, yep. And then it brings in the package.
Oh yeah. I think that's your go mod file, right? So you probably that one you don't want to actually edit. That one will automatically. That's like your
That
package.json,
is how we started the project. Got it.
and then you can make a main.go file. I guess that's yeah. So you're on the right track originally.
And then it's a mod file, right? Look, the code folding is already happening. All right. Cool. So CLI won't be defined yet, right? Undefined. And you can put in, I see. So this isn't CLI, this is,
I think it's right.
and
I
then
think
you import it, right?
yeah. Go mod install or go mod add. Yeah, it's one of the two. I think you have to. Oh, yeah, I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I'm just learning. This is the pain points of, if anyone in chat is good at Go and knows how to get things going, I feel like their documentation could be a little bit more helpful, but Go mod tidy. Nice. So we gotta go mod init.
Oh,
Right,
it's
so I've
go
admitted it already,
go get and then the package
and then
name.
the thing that I
Oh, there we
want. And so it fetches and it pulls all those things in for me. And then, so we give it an action like boom, and boom will run a thing. Running already gives you a lot of functionality. Things like subcommands are covered, yeah. So this, cool. And I know there's like a go build or go, I thought it was go build, and then sesh should just exist.
You could actually do go build dot. That's what I do.
Oh, that's right. And then,
Do dot slash to access the.
I can run it. Yeah. We can run it, but I was just thinking I can.
Well, so if you list your files, you'll see the binary there, um, in that main directory, and all you have to do is just
It
do
goes
dot
there.
slash and then access. Kind of like if you were accessing executable. There you go. Yeah.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom, I say. So that's the name of the application. And it's smart. We just called it sesh. Boom. And it'll be one of those things that you rebuild it and then there's like a built-in help, right? Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So
Global
cool.
commands, options. And so from your experience so far, are flags different than not flags? You can create like flags on specific commands? You can get a little bit more granular?
Yep. Yep. From my
Yeah,
experience.
so that's the idea. Then that's what we'll want to do. So it won't be a top level action, although I'm sure there'll be some basic things you can do with the top level action. We greet with a simple, yeah, so go install. We'll put it, there you go. So go install puts it in the go path binary, which I have assigned to my path. Arguments. We can print the argument with Q. Nice. So CLI context is the thing that can look at it. So we have context there. And you can print by getting the first argument, which it looks like this one is. Cool. So you can say like, it's one of those things though that like, does anyone have oh yeah, the context needs to be assigned, doesn't it? You assign it. See, I know a little Go.
You
I
got
know a little bit of
it.
what I'm doing. So let's
Zoom.
say sesh Clarice. Hello, Clarice.
Oh, nice. There you go.
So grabbing an argument out is pretty straightforward. And adding flags means you can add flags. This looks like it's on the parent. So on app, flags is defined. Cool, cool. I don't know why this thing says undefined. Does anyone know what undefined is and how I tell it to understand it?
Could you
Even
maybe
this
try?
module thing,
Yeah.
I
Maybe
can
try.
go get it.
Yeah, try that. I guess. I was gonna also say maybe just close the editor and open it again, maybe, but
Oh, sure.
too. Oh, there you go.
Better. All right, so we can say, I'm fine with getting the hang of it first. So the context is language, and then there's a context string lang. And so this is like your conditional. Is that it? Just string lang? Context. If there are no args, then the flag wouldn't be there, right? So it's pretty rudimentary stuff here, but I mean, it's good to understand. So that was the first action. Can I just nest actions or do I have to name them? Oh, this is like the root action. Let's find out how this works. Yeah, see, so app equals thing, run action. I guess it's going to be a subcommand. So you run multiple commands by nesting. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right, because you can't have the same, you can't reuse action. But this is the root command. Cool.
I think when he's starting out and laying out this, just the basics, he's starting with a CLI that only has one command, so there is no array. Um, I think something that
Right.
helped me a bunch is check out on the side there, go to full API example. And that's another spot right too. I kind of went at the very bottom there. This was
This
really
is a
helpful
big
just to see
version. Yeah.
everything in its context. And so some stuff you may not know or get, but but there is stuff you're like, oh, I was looking to see how he, added this in. Um, so this is a nice helpful reference as far as like if you're thinking, oh, I need to add like this one little thing, how would I do that? You'll
Right.
probably see it there. Yeah, because it
Right.
kind of tries to use as much as possible in this full example. You scroll down a bit, you'll kind of see what I'm
So he's
saying.
got some types, and then he doesn't have a root action. He has a list of commands, and those commands have flags on specific commands, subcommands on other commands. Okay, so this is a command called do, and then do wop has his action. And this is probably imported or called somewhere else. So he has a separate function. But I would imagine we would have command submodules that we import and reference. Cool.
Mhm.
And then, there's some cleanup before and after. There's hooks. That's cool. Bash complete. That's pretty cool. I did hear that there's a bit of like pros and cons and different Go libraries for CLIs. I know Dan was talking about Cobra. We were talking about Cobra too, Dan. I know Cobra is really popular. In fact, Cobra, if that one has 20,000 views, this one has like, oh, that's not it. Cobra CLI GoLang. There we go. So this one has like 30,000 stars, right?
It's the
So
most
this
fun.
one's fairly more popular, but it is a little bit more complex, which they have their own guide.
It might be nice to compare the two too. Just
But
scrolling
I don't
through,
think
like,
I'll
yeah,
lean into one immediately and go, that's it. That's definitely the one I'm using. I
right,
think there's going to be
right.
a little bit of play here. So we got Hugo, we got a run command. So we've got his initialization, persistent flags, binding p flags. Again, like, what is this stuff? It's like it's not really necessarily intuitive, but it is useful in the way that they've broken this up. Nice. Create your own main.go, create additional commands. So you got your commands. Oh, and look at that. You can add commands. And then what is this root command? Where does that come from? Oh, interesting. Can you assign things? You can assign things in Go before they're defined. I know some languages like that, some of them don't. So you got to try, and then flags can be persistent, meaning the flag will be available to the command it's assigned to, as well as every command under that command. Ah, interesting. So you can have like a top level verbose, and then every other command under it. That's cool. And then local flags. You can even type what kind of it is. That's cool. So you can say this is a Boolean or this is a string. I'm sure we're gonna have lots of Boolean flags. I'm trying to figure out at this point if I'm gonna do a lot of configurations. That's another big piece here,
Mm.
like feature flags, basically. That's how the project's been built so far. Nice. So this is fairly obvious. There's just a bit of things being all chained together and then executed. Nice. There you go. Command print, echo print, time print, and then boom, you add them. Yep. So this one's kind of the same, but from what I can tell, the Your Fave project is simpler. So I don't mind starting here. I mean, if I can just call the CLI instead of the binary with one of my most basic features here, I mean, that's the win. That would be it.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of utility stuff that I can abstract into Go functions, hopefully. So the trick here is like I need to run things on the terminal, which I know your project has, right? Like you want to execute a command, a shell command, and then take its standard out and assign it to, I don't know if I need to assign it necessarily, but I just need it to be returned and to be used.
Yeah, so if you go to save
Use,
JWT,
yeah,
um, there's the other Go file there, save JWT. That's the file that's basically finding the
yep.
home directory and then writing a file to it. And then it does a
Make
quick test
request,
authentication to make sure that it's like a valid key.
print, get host, that's cool. So you can get an environment. Okay, so there's a lot of things here that like our OS, the OS package will give you.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can imagine that being pretty helpful. Cool.
kind of like the FS of Go. I feel like Node
Yeah,
FS.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Nice. All right. Well, now there's sort of an MVP. So we will do this sesh. I'll give you guys a quick tip here on how I do this. I go to Octo and I say I want to issue create, and we'll call this MVP. And I got
Ooh,
my Zen mode. So Zen mode increases the font magically. I didn't do that. It does it on its own, and then it gets rid of everything else.
what plugin is this? Or app? I don't think I've seen
It's
this.
called Zen mode, and then Wes term lets me change font dynamically.
Gotcha. So it's like I know I have a Zen mode.nvim, but you're talking like Zen mode um, terminal binary, right? Like you're just running the command.
It's a NeoVim plugin. This is a
Okay.
NeoVim. This is
Maybe
NeoVim Life editing. So as a
yeah.
user, I want the most basic.
I think I'm referring to the issue creator, the GitHub issue creator. That's what I'm
It's
thinking
called
about.
it's called Octo.
So,
It's
okay.
a really great NeoVim plugin that does lots
Cool.
of cool GitHub things like PRs. You can do code reviews in NeoVim. You can create issues, read issues, open pull requests, create pull requests, view pull requests. There's a bunch of things you can do with it. I do my code review in NeoVim now, which is super, super nice.
I'll have to check that out. That's dope.
Okay, well, that's it then. So basically, all that's really going to happen here is, I guess we want so the way the plugin works now is it executes a tmux. Actually, I guess the entry point here is it executes a fuzzy command with Zoxide results and tmux with tmux sessions and Zoxide results. And as I can come up with some cool stuff with like tmuxy things, I'm sure my other plugin ideas would benefit from this. So I guess the most basic thing is like, can I list? I guess we're going to do a subcommand. We have to sort of design the CLI. So I know in your case, you gave us a very basic, simple example of like, I have these two commands and they do this.
That's all I needed.
So I'm thinking for now that my Smart Session Manager. I don't know if you know how Tmux plugins work, but all it really is a Tmux file. And the Tmux file will do some sort of binding, right? In this case, I want to do a bind to capital T, and on the capital T, I want to run a shell command, and the shell command is from the plugin source code. So the plugin source code has this T binary, and this is what we were talking about. So if we look at line numbers, it's 260 lines of just bash procedural logic. And so like this kind of thing needs to be converted into utils/tmux/ I guess we'll do something like that. And I can like find out how good this is. Convert this bash to GoLang. And we're going to see how I can get by with this.
Ooh,
Look at that.
looks
Exec
right.
command,
Looks
output,
right.
nil, do thing. I love it. So I need to return the value instead of saving it. Ken, this is what we're doing, bro. This is how it's going to happen. There'll be a lot of
This is how I built mine.
converting things. And so basically I want this function, right? So this is just, I guess it's, if it's nil, this is what always throws my brain off. If it's running, it's 0, yeah. And then bool, right? Cool.
Right.
Now, do they do code comments here? Is there a good standard practice for code comments in GoLang?
I think you could just try that. I'm not too sure. Can you do like @to do? Maybe not. Oh, there you go.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's going to show up here. Are there any best? Interesting. So there's like CLIs it's built in. Because what I want to do is like return. Is it return? See, like that. Oh, why does that? Oh, that's weird. Yeah, so that's the idea. So now if is tmux running becomes, I don't know, I can go ahead and make a sub command if I wanted to.
Since it's Go, you won't have to import it at the top either. It'll import is tmux running to your main Go file.
Yeah, so Andres is suggesting changing the package to not be main since you are in another folder. I mean, if you have any resources or you want to explain it more, I'm totally down. I don't know how this module organizational like workflow works in Go. I guess we just, let's go to like a GH dash. So like you got your main.go. Oh, you wouldn't call it Go. What would you call it then? So he's got go.main, and then he's got it named, I see. So would I be better off naming it like sesh instead of main? So then this guy becomes, oh, that's too much. So main, come on, main becomes sesh.go? Is it that kind of thing?
I think you need to keep.
binary.
I think you need to keep main.go. It might depend on your organization of files because for mine, everything's in the root directory, and all of my files have package main at the top. So, but yeah, that's a bit
And
beyond
then
my experience.
sure, that's fair. Sesh go still seems there. Let's remove sesh. It still makes it. Sesh still seems to be all right. Okay. And so he's saying that when you want to, you capitalize things and it becomes something you can import in other places. Cool. And I'm sure there's some, tell me the basics about module organization and sharing code in a GoLang project. So go mod, we go mod init, we can import things, right? The last element of its import path. For example, the format package is imported that way. To share, how do I share code within the same GoLang project? Determine the module resolution path. Create your packages, group related code into packages. Each package should reside in its own directory and have a unique package name. You can create a new package by creating a new directory and placing it related Go files inside it. And then you export. Yes, so Andres is talking about this. So uppercase letters are public and lowercase are private. In Go, you can import packages with your project by specifying the package. So you would say your module / directory name / thing. Okay. So then it becomes one of those things now that if we want to create some subcommands, we now have to sort of design our subcommands. So I guess the most basic one would be like this. And we're going to get rid of your code. Sorry, it's not important here. All right, and so I don't really want a root action anymore. It doesn't really make sense. Although as soon as I have something that feels stable, it's probably a good idea to, so if I say like is tmux running, is this going to let me auto import? I mean, it knew to grab it. It did not know. This isn't going to stick around. But
I have to
it's
wonder
my first.
if since you have it in a subdirectory, if you're gonna have to actually import it at the top. So not in the tmux go file, but the main go file. Like what it's saying there.
Yeah, that's the idea. But I'm a JavaScript dev, and I like my LSP to go, hey, here you go. Here's the thing you can import.
Ever
So
since
maybe we don't.
Yeah.
Sesh utils.
Oh, that looks right. Yeah. /tmux.
No required module provides package. Sesh utils tmux. Yeah, so this is the part where I'm like, can I get autocomplete? You will call it package right. All right, so I have to call it tmux.is running. Cool. Is it tmux or is it utils? So if I, return tmux dot, I see. So if this is called tmux go, is the is the module named utils, whatever you declare the package name. All right, so that's this thing. Got it. Package tmux, which I love this. Oh my gosh, this is way better than Bash. It's a real programming language, you guys. That's all I wanted. All right, so then it's just a matter of, yeah, right. Sojourn tmux dot. Yeah, so it's still not playing nice.
Maybe you can get rid of that at the top. Maybe you don't need it.
Do I just call it tmux now? No, that won't be right.
Can you get rid of it? Will that do it?
Oh, look at that.
Hmm.
All right, we're so close. And I know that our buddy on YouTube who's giving us all these tips is like, why don't they know what to do? And I'm so close. So you import, right, your module. Do I have to do sesh? Well, so unless my LSP is bad, Mason, which, so I've got a bunch of stuff in Mason, I got a bunch of stuff set up. I'm wondering if I need to go to like my dot files and lazy.lua. I'm pretty sure I had the Go package here, which should handle a lot of it. Can you cat the Go mod file? Oh, I don't have a Go mod file. So I have to create an init. I have to do an init on it. So it's like Go, what was it?
Go init mod. Oh, go modded it.
Do I have to do something like this? Go mod init v2.
Oh, it looks like you got it working the first time.
Does this thing add more to it as I use it? Yeah, see, this is the part where I didn't get very good at tmux or GoLang yet. So I'm like, why can't it just import it? And if I do sesh, so it's tmux. So here's utils tmux, and then I want to use tmux. Imported as a module. Is that different than what I'm doing? Inside of the internal directory, initialize a new Go module by running go mod init, followed by the module path. So I would say,
Oh, I think we're really
it's not
close.
doing it right.
Ask
We are
AI
really
again.
close.
I think you need to use your GitHub. So you know how it says github.com/yourfave? Try github.com. Or not even go init, just go to the import at the top. Where you have util/tmux. In there, do github.com/user.
So I don't get relative paths.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's not the right import.
Hmm.
But it
And
is,
then
you're
maybe
on the right path here. Project internal module. I didn't run this. It just says create the module. What is in the module file? Right. All right, so I guess we'll just look at a project like dash So you have doliv GHPR's UI. So if I go to like UI, that's the name of the folder. And then UI is the directory name, and the directory name is the module. And so he ends up doing UI.thing.
So
And
maybe you just need
module, yeah, so new
then
model
utils
lives
Yeah.
in the UI file. Oh, so this actually is a UI file. So it's more than that. So UI comes from the UI file. Is there a better example than UI? Or is this the only one he's got on the root? I guess we'll see. Yeah, so then here's more. This is all charm bracelets. So here it is, doliv GHPR's config. So config. So config is the directory name. And then config dot, and then config dot gives him the things that come out. So I think go to go mod init. It's about namespacing your module. Yeah, that makes sense. So if we're in sesh, from what I can tell, you have your username. So this is his namespace. The namespace is simply determined on the module name. So maybe I need to check my Go mod module name. So if I wanted to, I could just name this Josh Medeski sesh, I think. And then here, it's not called package, right? It's called, yep, package, utils, package. So this lives in the utils package. So it can be any number of files. I'm guessing that the package name needs to match the directory name, and that's what I didn't do. So this becomes utils, can I just say tmux? And can I move the tmux go file into the tmux directory? And then here it's called tmux. It's in the tmux directory. Now I'm nesting though, I don't know to what extent nesting is frowned upon. I guess I'll start with the basics then. Yeah, so this, yeah, you're right. This needs to be utils because it's in the utils directory. And that's, there you go. The Go file is right. And then what? Do I go mod time tidy? Yeah, I mean, it's just the growing pains, right? But once you know the pattern, I mean, man, just get cooking, right? It's like, just get to it. So this becomes utils. And this becomes utils. And this becomes my function.
Ooh. Oh.
Because
We're so close.
could not import, no required modules provides this package. What's that mean? LSP restart? Do I have to do that every time? Why can't I run commands in the GoLang reflect that?
Ooh, still there.
So from what I can tell, this needs to be sesh.
I think that should still be main, I think.
All right. As they say, what the hell? What is this? All right, so let's look at this. So file is within utils, which is not included in your workspace. To fix this problem, you can go to go.work file and add it there. Do I have to do all this? All right, so main has to live in the main function. Find sesh main.go. I don't mind it being there, but it's still one of those things that like,
yeah, because for me, if you go to my project, everything is just main.go, which is interesting.
sure.
So instead of sesh.go, it's just main.go. The function there is called main. Is there another main?
Other than it being named, no. Man, my little dog is needy right now. All right, who knows what kind of trouble they're going to get into. Wish my carpet luck down there. Oh, and there, I heard someone fall. Okay, chat. I don't get this. I don't understand modules. What is this? Is it supposed to be a package? So this is the module. It's called this. And then, because I don't want to reuse this. I don't want anyone else to use my sesh modules. And then I don't know. We got our main file. We got our tmux util file, which is a package. But there is no workspace file. You ended up just calling all your code in one file, right? No, you had two files.
Yeah, I had two files.
So
And
this
so
thing is package main.
Yep.
And so then
That one is two. And
it
main.go
was
has
just
a
main dot
function.
thing.
And if you go to my go mod file, go.mod, I was looking at that as well. So the module is pinatas. That's the name of the actual CLI.
Yeah.
And so you can have
So,
main.go.
I mean,
Let's try that
the
maybe.
module could be sesh, but you don't import pinata. You get it for
So
free.
I use the API key. So I'm not even importing any libraries from our own stuff or
But you're
and then all
calling
my
this.
that's in the same root directory. That save JWT
Oh,
there.
because it's in the same root directory,
Mhm.
and that's also
Well,
in
it's
the
part of
main
the same
package.
package. Yep. Mhm.
So I don't have to, if I make folders, you have to make, right?
Packages.
We are learning. So utils
What if you just
has
made
a
it
utils package, UI,
yeah.
all of these rely or are called the UI package. So now if like utils calls UI or vice versa, this one's calling utils. Dolev has his namespace here, Dolev GitHub PR's utils, and that name matches what's on his go.mod. So the go.mod module.
Now I'm curious. Let's see if I just make my own directory here.
Sesh. So that's the directory. And then this, let's just remove that. This is called utils because it's in the utils folder. This is called Josh Medeski sesh, so that's in that folder. We'll just go with main for now. So, oh, there was duplicate files. That's probably why we were getting that error. And I guess I'll just quit and open main. And this should be Josh Medeski sesh utils. And this is the part where I'm a little bit thrown off. Oh, it's not expecting to return a Boolean. It expects to throw an error if do you have to return anything? Return an error if there is an error. So it's one of those things that return error. So error exists as, this is what I heard about GoLang development, that there's a lot of error checking.
Yep.
So you can return an error if the thing doesn't come back the way that you wanted it to.
And
so
if you
does
go
it
to
always
that,
expect, do I just change the argument or the return type? Or is it expecting it has to return something? Values
I
is
don't think
literal.
I think I just have an error being returned from mine. And what's interesting is because
Yeah.
the information I'm returning in my function is being done through the prints in the command themselves, so it's not returning anything to the stack, the main function.
Yeah. But if there is an error, I don't mind returning it. Cannot use error variable of type of error. So it's if no error, return nil. Yeah, this is the part where I'm a little bit unsure of what is good practice. Return nil, I see. So something like you can return nil, and this is going to be unused, I know. If there is not nil, yeah. Well, this is fine for me for now. And then if I want to assign this to a variable, so is tmux running, right? And then I can say if is tmux running, print is running, else is not running. This is the proof of concept because the function is the function a thing that works. So we can build, go, what does it say? Cannot use I need to get the output. It's not if it's an error. It's like a response. If response equals 0, return true. Else if response return false, else. Can I throw errors, right? What kind of things do you do to throw errors? Do you return errors or you just call errors?
Check out instead of looking at that main.go file from my one, check out the save JWT one. I think that's a better example for the actual Go writing.
Fair enough.
Because like that's where I'm just plugging in stuff. If you go to save JWT, you can see
Yeah.
here the pattern is, which I think is what Dan and Andres are kind of communicating to, is like you typically say if there's, if the error is not nil, then return the error, and that's how you do the error handling.
Sure. So if it's not nil, we return error. And then that simplifies the path. which I don't mind this sort of thing. And then if I want like a tuple response, which is what I'm seeing from what Andres is mentioning.
Oh, you do it in parentheses, I think.
This is a byte response. So that's a whole other thing I got to deal with. Then you have a good condition after you. Yeah. So this is like go to for this kind of stuff. All right, so then I'll just read source code. So command is returned and it's a strut. Exec command. What makes it decide it's rest or error? Is the byte response, this is the error. Right, so I want to repeat that. Return. Oh, that's return rest and error. Instead. So you would say this, that's what he was trying to tell me. I'm listening now, I'm listening. So this is the return type. And so I'll always return that or that, and it'll be nil. So do you just literally just do nil error because error was found? Can I return stuff like that? Oh, you don't need that. All right, so cool. Yeah. And this is nil. Oh, I guess that's implied, probably. Oh, do you have to always do this? Yeah. And then how to convert from a byte to a 0 or 1. So the length, the output of the command, sure, I don't mind ink rename output. So the output, it's not when the command will. Apologies. You can stringify it. Interesting. Can you stringify it? So this becomes what, false error? And then this becomes output. No, this is from the strings package. Can I? So we're taking a byte, and this is where we get to lower level languages, which I don't spend a lot of time with. So we can do a basic string. I guess we just do a string. So this becomes adding the import. Look at that. And then the output becomes output string. And this just becomes one of those things that else false, and then the error. Can I just call an error? So like, errors new comes from an errors package. Yeah. So that's exactly what I thought it would look like. Again, love using the standard library, so helpful. Could be used tag switch output string. Oh, nice. Well, look at that. That wasn't very smooth.
Ooh.
Ali's wondering what we're doing. So I have a session manager right now. It's called T. Not the greatest name. We're improving the name as we refactor. It's a smart session manager for tmux. So if I want to type dot files, I can get to my dot files. If I want to go to my buddy's GH- project, I can go to that. If I want to go to my website, I can do that. And you can see that these are the current sessions, but then you'll see below, here's a bunch of projects. These are all directories I've been to in the past, and they're sorted by use and frequency. And so it makes for a extremely fast way to get around tmux. Very, very fast. 200 plus people agree with me so far. And lots of people have spun off projects based off of my project. But the video on YouTube has like something like 30,000 views or something. I don't remember the number off the top of my head. And so that's where we're landing, is that this is popular. People do like it, but it's written in bash. Oh boy, 260 lines of bash. And if this project is going to continue, I very much have to create a proper programming language and a proper set of, like, even the help screen, like this was all hard coded. So every time we add a new feature, we have to do something completely different. And we have to shuffle code around. So that's the project. Hopefully that's helpful, Knight. I think you've been here before, so glad to see you back. And yeah, we're just kind of hacking away and learning how to code and coming up with a proof of concept today. And I know the switch case, we can switch thing, yeah. So it becomes switch, output string, case, endpoint. Cool. Easy enough. Tmux sessionizer. Let's take a second. Tmux sessionizer. Is this this person's? Let's see. Nice. They got some key mappings. Love it. Leader keys based on the Primogen's Tmux sessionizer, right? His is very opinionated. It's a command line tool.
It looks pretty similar, but I think
I'm sure it is similar.
yours is a bit broader, I think, because you're bringing in Zoxide and fuzzy
Yeah, so
finder.
mine isn't based off of any particular directory in your computer. It's based off of a library called Zoxide, which is like able to rank directory matching automatically based off of usage. So that's the huge bonus. And so you literally, as you use it, it gets smarter. So if we were to go here and we were to type ZI, dot files is very high on the list. The Tmux session manager is very high on the list. And then my work project, my website project, and all these other projects that follow. So these numbers are sorted and ranked and categorized by the Zoxide tooling. And so all I'm doing here is I'm listing those out, as well as any active Tmux sessions on top. And that's it. That's all this project is. It's pretty simple in what it does, but I can't go back. Have you started using it, Steve?
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's my favorite.
Would you want to switch away from it? Would you want to not use it anymore? Yeah,
No.
it's really hard. I'm like, man, I can't not live without it now.
And it's funny too, because in your docs you recommend Command K for like to pop it up while you're inside of a Tmux session. And I do that
Right.
all the time.
And this is yeah, totally. And this is happening all the time. Like Ali's talking about, he's replicated it. Cool. And you use Perl and Rofi? Cool. Yeah, did you ever download this one, Steve, the Tmux
I never
raycasting? I
got.
don't know if you
I
were
don't know if I
playing
ever
around
got
with
around
it.
to it. I
Oh,
need
you
to
didn't
actually
do
just.
it. Anyway, so there's like this example too. And here's the thing. As soon as I get this working, we can recreate this plugin with the sesh tooling and create a raycast plugin that's called sesh and have a sesh raycast extension. So like that's even more examples of where this can go.
Yeah. Yo, Josh, I gotta get going.
Can you?
All
All right,
up
man.
my time, dude. So thanks for having
Thanks
me.
for
I was,
coming.
yeah, I'm happy to show you
We're
the
gonna
very
hack
little
away
that
for
I do.
another hour and a half here probably. So I'm bound to
Best of
get
luck.
Tmux running. Is
I'll
Tmux running?
check the recording later too and see how far you get and what happens.
All
So
right.
excited for this
Yeah,
though.
thanks for
Go is
coming
awesome.
on.
A lot of fun. Yeah, no problem,
It's
man.
always nice to have someone around uh, when you're trying to get into
You're not
something
alone.
new like this. Plus, I got some great people in chat, so I'm
Yeah,
left in
they're
good hands.
way
You
better
have
than
a
I
good
am.
night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. You too,
and
right?
if you want to hack away at this more, I'll make some issues and I'll break up the work and
Sounds
we
good.
can tackle this together if we want. All right, man.
I love some.
Good to see you.
See you. All right, see you. Bye.
All right, see you around. Everyone say bye to Steve. All right. So, hello. Hello. I'm really big now, but you can see more. All right, I know this isn't perfect, but it should give us all a bit more room to see. In fact, I am sorry, this is quite small, isn't it? So that's my main file. We want to determine if it's running. We don't have any errors. We're just seeing if it's running or not. What does this say? Returns two values. So, and if errors not nil, return error, right? Can I get rid of this now? Or do I still have to have it? Oh, bummer. All right, we'll start there. All right, so super cool having Steve on. Some of you guys are community members. If you're not, and if you're still here and you're not aware, please go to the website. Please click on the little Discord button and come join us. Oh, it's not gonna work because I'm already on part of my own server. But come join us. It's fun. We have lots of conversations around Tmux and all the other things. Love to have you guys all join us. Talk about keyboards a lot, mechanical keyboards, all sorts of stuff. But we talk a lot about NeoVim and Tmux and WesTerm and all these things. So it's fun. All right. So the question now is, will this thing go build? I really wish there's a workflow for this. I'll probably set it up. So is Tmux running? Can't determined. All right, and so that becomes one of those things now where I really just want to find out if it can't determine it because of my byte conversion. Is there some sort of print statement I can do? Can I just print output string? Yeah, so it outputted all of this stuff. Go run, that's good to know. Go run. What do we call this? Main? Cool. So how to determine if GoLang is if tmux is running in GoLang. I'm wondering if there's a simpler way. You could do pgrec. Interesting. I guess. Is everyone going to have this? I guess. I was just looking for an exit code. So the command's output can be changed to .output. That's good to know. If error not nil, then do that. Returning the length of the string is greater than 0. So that should be enough. And I guess that's what we're going to do. So on the project, we're just going to say if, and that was the thing where we saw command.output. Command comes from that. I guess this worked. Yeah, I could just grab. I just want to be able to run tmux. In this case, list sessions is fine. It doesn't really matter. It's like it's not a big deal either way. Just a matter of getting it to be valid. So if we say output string is greater than 0, then we're going to do that. Can't I just return output string? The length of output string is greater than 0. Isn't this enough? What do I got to import this to? Oh, right. See, that's not so bad. And tmux is running, guys. Let's go. All right. So what do we do? What do we do, chat, when things are working? I know my seasoned developers will know the answer. Ian, are you still here? What do we do when things are passing? What is the next step here? I'll tell you right now what I like to do. I like to commit. So I don't know if I need to submit the binary. I can, for now, ignore it. Let me know, chat. Yeah, kind of. Add more features. We gotta deploy, right? We gotta make a version. No, we need to commit. So feature. I'm gonna just do conventional commits. Push it real good. All right. Sample command is tmux running. All right. The project is live. It lives. Of course, that wasn't very helpful, and it sure doesn't do a lot. We pushed it. Yeah, I didn't figure the binary needed to be pushed. Did I? I guess I need to, what, delete it? Well, so when I go to do a version release, will I have like my GitHub action? I'll probably just do a GitHub action. Will I just have that build the binary and upload it to like the releases? That's the part that I'm not so sure of. And I'm going to absolutely set up. Oh, nice. Well, I mean, I can Gitignore chat. I don't mind ignoring it. So we will remove sesh, and then we will Gitignore binary sesh, and we will chore ignore sesh binary. All right. So if I want this to happen, then the most basic thing that I could do here, and now that we know what's going on, we just do it, right? question I'm going to have is, am I going to be able to easily execute FCF? I guess I won't be calling FCF. I guess I'll be creating a list and passing it to FCF. So we need to actually like make FCF pop up, and we can set bindings and we can do all this through Go. But when it comes to executing the command, I want to do it like pass through style. I don't know what the right word would be here, but we want to pass it through so that when it gets run, the shell sees FCF. Like that's what we actually want to have happen. So it'll be like list. Maybe use FCF as a library, sure. And one thing was in my mind with this kind of package is it doesn't have to be FCF at this point. All it needs to be is a tmux pop-up and any tooling that lets you list and filter records. I have found some others that I think are better. And so we will see list sessions all available at list sessions. These are sessions. This is the tricky part. Sessions is an open-ended word for this binary. But I mean, that was a really good point though. If this is FCF and it's primarily Go, then can I use it as a Go package? Possibly, but I don't know if execute it as a binary. It would be kind of cool if I could use stuff directly, but I don't know if the complexity of that adds is worth it. We could also use like the GUM library. So the GUM library has some CLI stuff that would work for this as well. Like this. And that's it. So now we have utils fcf.go, and we want to fcf, command fcf, right. That would be enough to just grab this. It's not amazing. This will get changed and made better, but if this runs, like, will we get a pause? List sessions. Package should be utils. We're learning, chat. We're learning. I'm figuring this out. What does this say? First argument to looks like a shell command, but a programmer path name is expected. Yeah, I don't know. Can I pipe in sec that command? Yes. Give me that pipe. Byte. I don't know if it meant something else when it saw that. Yeah, that's what I want. I want standard in. Oh, yes. You're right. You're right. You're right. Public, private, public, private, public, private. I'm getting a sense of this. All right. New reader string input. Well, input. Got it. So you can say, this is a bash command, and please do the following bash command. Fair enough. But I don't know yet if it's going to actually execute. Print output, the list. I guess these are sessions. Something's probably going to blow up in our faces here, but that's all right. Go run main is running, go run list sessions, list, and it hangs because I don't know if this is even possible. I want to have this display this to me, the user. Oh my gosh, my dogs are barking. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, so it's going to time out forever because it's never going to select it. So calling CF type in a GoLang CLI. Does anyone have? Oh, that was bright. I guess we can use a proper link library. So it kind of would suck if we had to leave FCF entirely. But these guys have a whole library for like prompting. Yeah, Bubble Tea does great stuff. So Night Fury, would you use? Huh? I know they have a few libraries here. I don't know which one is the right one. CLI for video, not video. Glamour shell scripting. We want to like probably Charm or yeah, because TUI is for the future, and I might make a TUI actually. But this one, file system, client. I don't know how this works. As Go package. I wonder if he has like in the GoLang packages. This is him. Funk. Here are all these funks. I mean, I would love to just recreate this. I could install it and just see what happens, I guess. And see if there's a way to like list out things and pick from them. I really just need anyone's. I don't need FCF, although that's one tool. I liked. Is it ZY? No, what is it? CX? I always forget. It's like a two-letter thing. There's another library that does this. Oh, my camera's gonna die. Um, exec command. Yeah, so this is the thing. I want to recreate FCF in my own GoLang CLI. FCF's FCF. Okay, that's something. He's got his own. Okay, here's a module. TUI, maybe? Interesting. Well, I'm not sure exactly what would be done here. Now I could imagine passing this in via the tmux plugin and just having a list command that lists things, and that was the original intent, is like, I just want to list them. But that is the question. Set input and output to the command and then run it. So that's interesting. So they would do it like this. I don't know if this is a good idea. I don't know if this is what I'm thinking it would be. And then you would err and you would command run. Command. Undefined output. Yes, I know. Missing return. So we wouldn't return anything here. We would just run it. Is this possible? If error is not nil, then panic. What does panic do? Stops the execution from a Go routine. Sure. Used as a value. So it's list session. Right. So we're getting build errors, which I like seeing. Missing a return. Oh, come on. So that doesn't seem to be what we want. It's still just sort of like, nope, whatever. I'm just going to kind of do my own thing. I mean, what if the most basic thing is literally FCF? The output needs to be like captured somehow and passed in. Check out the above issue to see. I don't know if your URLs are going to go through. Use FCF as a binary. You might have to tell me the issue number. My streaming software filters that stuff out. Interesting. So, yep, it's going to time out, sure, because it never got selected. F5. Wonder if it's good enough to know app run thing, execute command, and then the output is captured. It's all still the same. $12.70. Interesting. All right, let's look at it. Yeah, standard in and standard out. Yeah, so they want to like map to standard in and standard out, which I totally get. And then there's this canonical mode. And they're saying if you make raw, this feels messy though. I'd rather use an actual Go library that supports this kind of stuff. Is this closed? Oh, okay. Execute the command. Look, standard out. Writing to standard in. Yeah, I mean, that's the idea, isn't it? Oh, and so that's it. Well, it's already a requirement. Bundling as a thing. Hey, look, it's Jess. Jess has been here. Yeah, so that's fine. We just need fuzzy finding. We don't need FCF. Like, if we're pivoting, we just pivot. You know, like that's kind of where I'm at with this. So, if any case, I just need a bubble tea to give me. I need charm bracelet to give me something good. So we've got like TUIs, we got forms. Part of me thinks that this forms package might be enough. Select from a list. I don't want to select. I want to validate on a list by typing. I know that it's possible. Like autocomplete. Bubbles list. I'm gonna get random internet results if I search that, aren't I? Bubbles list. Do they have their own list? List fancy. Just simple. Here's a simple one. So I got to recreate FCF if I'm making this into a binary. It's just a big lift. It's just like either finding the right package or I don't know where to find this bubbles list from what you listed. Bubble T. I would imagine though that we can do that through here. Result. Maybe I'm not in the right place. Like gum is cool. Can gum be used as a package? Or can it only be used as a CLI? I know here, this thing works pretty well. Filter. Lit hammer's fuzzy. That might have been the one I was just looking at. We can look at it again. Yeah, we were just looking. Fuzzy search is a package, and I guess fuzzy, yeah. Inspired by this person, written in Go. And then you can list words. I like it. This could totally work. My brain hurts. We'll see if I can get past the hour on writing Go. So I guess I get in practice what needs to be done, but I don't know this specific tooling and how to achieve it. So I can't execute a command and forward it. What I can do is keep it really simple and make the Tmux plugin drive the FCF features. All right, Ian. Good luck. Hope your son crushes the other team. Oh, you're playing a game. All right, well, have fun. Maybe you should be beating him. So list. Now it's one of those things where we can like list Tmux sessions, list Sockside sessions. So we are going to convert this dash to GoLang. And then return a list of strings. What do we call this? A session. So we're going to we're going to take the output, we're going to trim it, we're going to split it, we're going to sort it by time, and then for each one, we're going to strip it and return it. Sounds good. What is it? Sessions or error? Now use it. Sessions, error, if nil, do that thing, print sessions. Yep, that's it. Let's get rid of this guy. We got our format library, that's cool. Yeah, you're on the right track here. So for those that are hanging out in other places, Andres is talking about returning as a string array. So that's kind of the path forward, which is what I have here. So now it's one of those things that like we could do list, and I want to in standard out break this array, the strings into new lines. Can I do something like that? So instead of outputting sessions in that form, I would join with new line. Yeah, that would be it. No sessions found. That's exactly what I want. So we're not going to print that. We're going to print that. Let's go. And I can just do L. And now I can do FCF. Let's go, chat. That's good. So that's it. That's the way that this works. We're going to repeat it for all Zoxide results, basically. So how's this for? Yeah. And so when we do that, it's going to be very similar. And in fact, I kind of want to put this, push it. Hey, you're right. This shouldn't be FCF though. This should be list. And so this should be list, and it lists. Well, without FCF, boom, it lists. So that's that. Feature. Add list command to list tmux sessions. Push it. Push it, push it, push it. All right, we got a little momentum. I'm starting to figure this out. Let me check something. My phone needed to be plugged in. It's gonna die. Let's do it. Cool. All right, chat, let's do it again. So the way that this would work is, you missed it, Ken. What are you doing, Ken? Well, I'll give you some sprinkles. We got it working, man. So this is getting sessions by most recent use, which Doliv, which we were looking at his source code, he's the one that added that contribution. If we look at our tmux and our list, so now on our list, we can get tmux sessions, do a little interpolation, do a little sorting, and it's the same as what it was before. So we're just sorting and then we're returning the values that are stripped. So just the fields that show up secondarily. Which it's funny, sort numeric, sort reverse awk. Are we doing any of that here? No, we're not. We're doing it manually. So it would probably be worth some unit tests if we thought that this needed to be stuck around. All right, so now we're going to do something like this, get Zoxide results, result list. Yes. We will add formatting later. I'm not so worried about that this time. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. We're just going to take the result and return it. What's up? Agus? Agus? Yes? What's up, man? Good to see you. We are coding a GoLang CLI. So as the thumbnail implied, thanks for clicking. I'm working on a smart session manager. So this is a smart session manager that I've already written. We've got about 200 people that already like it. Dan's wondering how it differs from Zoxide interactive mode. Well, here's the thing. If you do ZI and we choose dot files, guess what? You CD into dot files. But if you use dot files in my session manager, it switches to a tmux session called dot files and puts us in that place. So it's not that they're different, it's that one is merging the other's functionality into add additional tooling. Same with like going to my website or going to the original project. I can, within just a few characters, get to exactly what I want to get to. And I end up with multiple tmux sessions open, which is what you're seeing here. So these are all my tmux sessions, and below it are all of the Zoxide results. Game changer. This is such a huge productivity boost for me. I'm the original author, but of course, guys like Primogen have a sessionizer thing that he originally created, and I used Zoxide for many, many years and similar tools like that before. And so we're trying to scale this project and allow it to do a lot more things because it's currently just a couple hundred lines of bash, 260 lines of bash. And at this point, it's about a year in development. And every time I want a new feature, I'm like, okay, I got to move this code all around. I have to like finagle the code. And I just recently found out through like last week's stream that if I want to add new arguments or subcommands or anything like that, like it is really hard in bash. It is not a straightforward thing, and we need a proper programming language basically. So that's where we're at with this. And I am going to make my dogs come back. We'll see if they're any good though. Hey, come on. Come on. What's up, dogs? All right. The troublemakers are back. You guys want to meet one of them? Oh, I need a quick mental break. We got a doggy here in her little Christmas sweater. We're matching. Do you guys like that? We're wearing the same sweater today. Let's see if my views go up if I put a dog on screen. Her name's Millie. She's a troublemaker. She's the one that you might have heard barking. Oh, and I have a bigger one who maybe if you come back next stream, I'll show her off. Doggo alert! They're sweethearts. I tease them, but they're good dogs most of the time. All right. So I guess I'll just run this one and see what happens. We want to do a quick list. Look at me, I'm learning. Private, private. And then this thing becomes I just need to join all of them. So this becomes let's call this tmux sessions. And we're gonna append to another variable. Is there literally an append? Oh, cool, sweet. So this becomes var sessions, and then we're gonna append sessions. What is the first argument? Sessions. Oh, nice. What does it say? Not used. I know it's not used. All right. But you just append, right? Oh, you reassign it? Can I overwrite this assignment? I can, okay. So I can say sessions equals append sessions on top of sessions. Yeah, cool. I like that. It's not functional. I don't know, you guys functional programming nerds. Maybe it in practice is, but that reassignment is something I'm like, ugh, I'm not always a fan. Let's join string sessions. All right, and so that's the first part, and then we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna say Zoxide sessions, get Zoxide results. And then we're gonna take this guy and we're gonna append Zoxide results on top of it. Oh, that's too many dots. And then we're going to test. Sweet. Hell yeah. I love it. That's what we want. That is what we want. So this is just like a rinse and repeat. And so for those that are like, well, what is the point of a refactor? Well, guess what? All of this stuff and all of this stuff, no, not all of that stuff, all of this, and all of what's up here, where is it? Get FCF results, all of this all goes away. This all goes away. We don't do it this way anymore. And yeah, we're getting some momentum. So this just isn't how it's going to be done anymore. Like this whole if tmux is running, then do thing. Like now I don't have to do any of this in bash. All that we're going to end up with at the end is going to be some sort of sesh, L, right? Sesh L. Sesh L. And to be honest, I don't think it'll matter if any, I guess I'll still need some of this. I'm trying to wonder if attached, yeah, so if attached, we do the pop-up. So some of this logic might stay the same, although I'm thinking of trying to rework how this stuff works down here. If we move away from FCF and we do some sort of, I don't know, some sort of fuzzy library, which we were looking into, or some other sort of similar solution. Z shell? No, Zoxide is its own thing. We're going to go with Sesh. But here we go. So I like this approach because what's going to happen is if I want to use a raycast tool like this, then I can do the same kind of thing where inside the source code for this session manager thing, which is pretty cool actually. Yeah, but Dan, you're in the right path here. I'm going to go ahead and highlight your comment. Absolutely. Like the idea will be hopefully, as we figure this out and I get some feedback from other people, is like I just will give you a list of all of the sessions. And when you pick the session, you can pass that argument to a new command that is going to do something else. And so the sort of abstract layer of like, I want you to list sessions in a smart way, all gets abstracted by a CLI, sesh list, right? And then there'll be some sort of sesh attach, right? Or sesh, I don't know, it'll be like sesh run, and you'll run a particular session, right? We'll come up with a good naming convention here, but that other command will be what you pass the selection to. So whatever list item you select, you'll pass it to another sesh command, and it will also do whatever needs to be done. Connect to a Zellige, session, connect to a tmux session, connect to a WES-term session. My hope is to abstract this some and make it like sort of a de facto pattern that everybody can reach for. And then as we come up with new features, we can implement those new features and everybody just gains those benefits, I think splitting it between different tooling will be a little bit more tricky. It will create, there'll be a little bit more complexity in how we go about implementing it. So right now it's going to be a bit of a refactor or a rewrite. Look at that, boom, I say. So the binary needs to be built. Oh, that's the wrong project. So even just with that alone, how do I want to create the binary. Deploy? No. Oh, yeah, that's right. Is there a simpler way? Deploy? Is there like an actual Go deploy? No, there isn't. All right. And so, I don't mind Go path. I thought we got the binary earlier. I just forgot how we went about. Sweet. Yep, and so see, like it works as before, .files. So there's .files, and look, it went to the right place. There's joshmedeski.com. There's like plugins is a common one for me, and it works. So literally just swapping those out work, which is really cool to see. And there's a way in which you can quickly deploy, you can clone repos in a similar vein where you just kind of do it and it just knows what to do, and it clones the repository on your machine and creates a session very quickly on the fly with it. That's something that we will also play around with. But I want, in the near future, I would love some sort of lazy Git TUI kind of style thing for sessions. And I think there's a lot of cool things to do with that. But that will be a lot more complex. And this is very fast. This just kind of works right now. So we got sessions, we got Zoxide. So there'll be some sort of flag, I guess, for only listing. If I only want to list tmux sessions, or I only want to list Zoxide sessions, I could go out of my way and create different ones that can, some sort of flag or subcommand or something. I'm not sure exactly what. It feels kind of funny to go sesh list Zoxide if we already have Zoxide, right? That's just my thinking anyway. I'm like, I don't know if it makes sense to separate those. But the Tmux one I could see being useful. Like Tmux, what is it? Like sesh list Tmux. That could be useful to like, hey, just I want to list those. So can I have optional subcommands? Or does everything have commands, do, action, do thing? Yes, we know about that. I guess flags would be one way of doing it. And if I see a flag, then I will overwrite the behavior. Like if no flags, list all, and if flag is passed, then do that. That's probably what I'll do. I'll probably do something like that. So it'll be like, I wonder if that's even possible actually. This shouldn't take long to implement. So it goes on here like this, flags, and there'll be bool flags, and I want an alias. So let's yank that. And let's call this Zoxide and Tmux, and we'll list sessions. And on the action, interesting, what is all this? Show app help. If context bool infinite. All right, so is that one of those things I like, man, we want fancy. Forever. I'm not seeing these actually being implemented. Setup, args. What is NC? New context? Let's see. So we have our context, fine. We got anything to add? I did push. The only thing I've changed now is, did I flatten those? Maybe I did. Sessions, feature. List Zoxide results and team sessions. Thank you. Good idea. So when we look at arguments, this is a context. Context is passed. I'm thinking with list, a lot of this logic could end up on the parent, but I don't really love, I guess if I want the flags, I'm gonna have to do something. So new context. Why do I need a new context? Visible categories, args, flags. They like called flags in that example, but they didn't actually use them. So what's the point? Flags, flags. So you define a flag. It is a string flag named this, lang, and then context string lang. If that thing exists and has a value, then it does that. So it's almost like this thing needs to become, I don't know, like this. And this list sessions probably should live on the parent. And this becomes utils. Oh, this goes away. And this becomes, no, it doesn't go away. It gets moved. Missing a return. I guess I just want to return error. Return error. Come on. Now we just gotta sort of line this up. That's my action. That's my list. Do I pass context then through, which I guess would make sense. We can kind of undo this. I could pass context, right? What is happening? Why does it matter? I've got some sort of error going on here. And then we'll go back and we'll undo all of that. All right, fine. I get ahead of myself apparently. We'll get rid of that. So if I pass context, I could use it internally, which is fine, I guess. So this func, this is a func. So CLI context becomes like this. Is that right? Context? I don't know if it's just a one-to-one like that on the typing. Invalid type. What is this? Invalid type. Is that valid? Okay. So if we pass context, then I can use it. Fine. And it becomes one of those things that like, if context is outside. Now, is the shorthand forwarded? I'm guessing it has to be. Oh, if no args, right. So if one of those are no args, v2, right. It wasn't smart enough. And what do they do here? They do CTX? Oh, for C, I see. CTX is their convention. And now it's one of those things that like, if no args, or is it or? Or CTX dot bool is tmux, and we're gonna do this, and this goes outside that, And I'm bad at this. Wrong language. And it's bool. And they're public, so they're uppercase. I get it. All right. And so then that becomes that. And we optionally do that. And this is super rudimentary, but it should do the job. So this will list nothing. Args is greater than 0. Is it args or is it is greater than? That's an issue. Otherwise, lang equals Spanish. So that's, I want like a bool. Is there a good bool example? There we go, foo. Action args, the context is passed. It prints the count. This doesn't do anything, does it? Why are they giving me an example with no code implementing it? Come on, guys. All right, silent. These aren't being implemented. They're just being referenced. If there are no flags, or it's Boolean. If there is it double or equals? It's double. All right, that's why. So we list all, we list Zoxide only. We list Tmux only. Oh, the argument's gonna get stored because I didn't add them. All right. Get me a bool flag. These are flags, right? That's, I think I'm using the right term. Let's see, I want flags. Name, Zoxide, fee, category, interesting. All right, and so then that's bool, and that's tmux. Cool. I like this one before that one. And panic. List flag redefined, Z. Oh, yep, can't do that. That's a good panic. Sweet. Yeah, I figured it out. All right, so then can I do Zoxide? This is less helpful because it's going to show everything. Tmux. So here it's not doing it. It's not args now, right? It's flags, string flag then it looks for args. If it's greater than, the name becomes the argument. It doesn't matter then. Args isn't what I'm dealing with. What I'm dealing with is context string. It's supposed to, args is unrelated. Why did they give me this example? Yeah, I know that, well, I know that this is what it is. Args has nothing to do with flags. So it's one of those things that, like, if there isn't both of these, God, this is dumb. Maybe I just start with this. Args is unrelated. Args is like if I passed an argument. And I don't know why they're giving me these overly contrived examples. Yeah. And then Zoxide. And so you don't get tmux here. And then if you do like ZT, it'll be both, but you can't combine them. Interesting. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. I wish I could order. I wish I could do this. Combining short options. If your program has any number of Boolean flags, use short URL handling. Do I have to do that? Ah, cool. So that would be better. Let's go back to main and tell it to use short handling. I know you're stuck in here with me. The doggies talking to me. Cool, so that's it. So then that means we should be able to do that, and then we should be able to do something like that. Cool. Very cool. That is fun. All right, so what do? We each add flags. And I guess if you don't include the flags, it's just not going to return anything. And that was where I was like, it's only a little bit of extra code, but if I said, tmux flag, I don't know. I mean, the best way to say is like, if no flags, do both. If only one flag is found, do that flag. I mean, I like that design. It's not that hard to write. All right, so let's say has equals like that. So it's like has flags. Can I do that? If it doesn't have flags, I'm going to do it. Default flag. Default flag. I don't know. Well, I mean, there probably is a default flag, but that's not the point. The point is I want to run both and append it. Oh, nice. They do inferring. Oh, sweet. Yeah. Yeah, cool. It's a basic thing, and I get that this could get more complicated as we add more flags, but it's one of those things that this should work fine. Feature allow flag to return all. It's easy to read too. I think this is easy to read. If no flags, or you use this flag, then do this thing. And then repeat it. So that's fine. Totally fine with me. This is looking good, chat. This is not as crazy as I thought. I just had to wrap my head around packages. Thank you, chat, to those that were being helpful in that area. But Andres is right, let's make it work, and then we'll make it nice, and we'll organize it better. Especially those abstractions that I talked about previously. I think as long as I sort of set us up in the right direction, that those abstractions will come with good code design. Let's see. So now it's one of those things that, like, I think I want to be able to just run unit tests on this and make sure that I'm happy with that path. I think I've got a little bit of time left, so let's go ahead and experiment with unit testing and see how to we're going to create a underscore test file, and then we have an expected import necessary packages, write tests, write test cases, run the tests, verify the results. Yes, I like it. So what this becomes, tmux becomes tmux test. And instead of doing it this way, we will say func test is tmux running, and result is, oh, interesting. You're getting ahead of me here. Result is utils dot is tmux running, and then we do some sort of expected to be true, and then if the result is not expecting, then what is testing? Testing is T. Oh, that's cool. So there's a testing library, and testing like this, T dot error. Super simple. How about that? And I don't want anything fancy on the return. 2 words, please. And then what? Can I run? Could not import. Missing metadata import. What does that mean? Any ideas, chat? Setup failed. No need to import? Well, you're saying because I guess it's one of those. So this is inferred because it's a test file. You gotta love languages that just decide, hey, this is how it's gonna be. error. So if error expected true, run the thing. If the thing is not the thing, hell yeah. So this is called neotest. It lets me run tests in line, which is super sick. I love it. The only thing about this test is if we kill tmux and we invim repos, I don't know, invim repos sesh utils tmux.go test, and we run this, it's gonna fail. No test found. Yes, test found. This is my test. All right, so that becomes a thing that like go test. Oh, let's see, go zi sesh. How do I tell it there's Go files or there's test files? Do you have to specify it? It says there's no Go. Do I have to utils Go test? Yeah. So it exited with a exit status code. This is actually why I wanted to do unit testing. So your working directory should be the project root. So can I run tests that are exit status? I want to look at the status code. We should probably rewrite this anyway. If it's a status code of not one, then I mean, if it's a status code of 0, it means that tmux is running. And then if we sesh tmux, let's see. Your working directory should, yeah. So if we go test, utils go test this. And it's okay. All right, so then we need to run tmux probably on a socket, and then I need to make my assertion based off of the socket I assign it to. The thing that's going to be really annoying is like, this isn't a unit test, this is kind of like an integration test with tmux. So a tmux server, if it's running, the test will pass. If it's not running, the test won't pass. And if I want to test like listing tmux sessions, then I need to have tmux sessions running and up, and like there need to be sessions that exist, right? And then if I want to do Zoxide tests, I need to have Zoxide installed, and I need to have Zoxide with database entries that are determined. Like I need to know what they are in order for my unit test to be valid because of the assertions I need to make. So it's one of those things that like, how much of this scaffolding can I do? And will any of my running these tests change the behavior? I guess if I reset everything every time, it won't be a big deal. And I also guess if I write unit tests, not unit tests, helper functions for my unit tests, then I should be able to say start server assert test, stop server assert test. And these assertions in this case are going to be a huge pain in the butt to run. I guess it's only the first few tests. But like, I don't want to wipe my Zoxide results. So does anyone here mess with like virtualization, where like you run your GoLang CLI, your GoLang tests in a virtual machine that isn't being affected by your main machine? In my mind, that's really the only way that I could see this being useful. And if the tests run in parallel, then that's a kind of a moot point with this whole, is Tmux running? Is Zoxide have results? Does it not? All of those kinds of things, if they're not run on their own independent VMs, it's going to be a huge headache to run integration tests with this stuff, which technically I'm going to call them integration tests because they're integrating with other tools. So much to think about, probably something to sleep on because I'm not going to be able to make these decisions all at once. And perhaps some of this just doesn't go well with unit testing. Maybe there needs to be some sort of procedural binary test where I like write a simple bash script that executes. And as long as there's no exit codes, or maybe if I expect exit codes, then I run those scripts in a sequential order. And then the tests are testing the public API, not the Go library itself, which would be good. I think it's a good idea. I've actually seen bash testing. So on my session manager, we have an issue and I want to add unit tests. And so there's a handful of these that apparently do a pretty good job. Asserts. So basic assertions, expecting, that kind of stuff. This could be fine. So you have a snapshot on Ansible playbooks. Okay. Ansible playbook. I've heard of this. I know things. Yeah, so this would make a lot of sense because I want to say, like, I could also use Nix. Nix is a similar tooling, right? Couldn't I say, hey, Nix, spin up this machine with these toolings and do these things with it, and then run a script, right? It's one of those things that I don't think time is it's not a big problem if like they run in parallel or not, due to the nature of what they are. But the playbook itself, executing tasks, but this this will execute tasks. And I totally get that that's a good starting point. But then I would want to run a script probably that I write that has its own assertions. I don't think this is for actually doing assertions. This is just, hey, install Tmux and install Zoxide and install the sesh binary and then run this thing, and given the feedback, I can do something with it. All right, that's good to know. Thanks, super helpful. Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn. Thank you, Gwendolyn. I feel like I might have seen your name before. Have you been around before? To set up VM or testing a bash test. I'm just adding some notes on the side. You're just lurking. Well, thank you for stepping in and saying something. I appreciate it. Proxmox. I haven't heard of that one. Right. I think Nix could be a great solution here, actually. Looking at what Playbook is and thinking about what Nix does, I could see that I could get by with using something like that. But I'll look into this more. I know Red Hat, it's a Red Hat thing, isn't it? Okay, all right. Cool. So this is fun. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Those that were lurking, I still appreciate you being here. And those that were giving me some feedback, also super appreciative. I think there's a lot to do here, but it feels pretty good. I'm sure the thing that may stand out later is like config file stuff. Reading config files is important to me for this project because there's a lot of feature flags coming. People want certain functionality in a certain way, and everyone has slightly different tastes. So that will be something, a bit of a challenge that I need to face. But this was really fun. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, we're at a pretty good time here. Close all this. I don't think I'll need it. I saved what I wanted to save in my notes. GoReleaser, right? GoReleaser. Cool. Make sure you guys go give Steve a follow. I'm going to link to his stuff right now because I think you guys should definitely check out his stuff. He does some great work at Pinata, and he's all over the community right now in the Discord. So if you want to talk more to him, he's there. And thanks, Ken. So you guys definitely go check out Steve and give him a shout. I had a really good time today. This was fun. And if you want the project, why don't we share that as well? Because why not? The source code is live, my friends. Yeah, Gwendolyn, I was just mentioning this. Oh, why did it do that? There we go. Yeah. So Tmux lets you, if you want to start a Tmux server, you can give it a specific socket. And so you could have more than one Tmux server running at a time on different sockets. If you ever want to know what's up with your machine and you're like, what is happening? What is it? Let's see, temp. What is it? Temp. I think it's temp. So in your temp directory, you'll see this little number here in your Tmux folder, Tmux 501, and that means it's running on 501. So socket boom. Tmux stores the server socket in the directory under this place, defaults to the name default. Allows several independent Tmux servers to be run. So maybe I could run different servers on the unit tests where they don't conflict. Maybe like the test name or something is the name of the socket. But be interesting to play with for sure. But I think that's it. Thanks guys for hanging out. This was fun. I had a good time. I feel way better about Go than I did when I started today. And all of your really helpful feedback on how to do things with packages and modules and types and all of that. So this was really fun. Thanks for coming in. Andres, thanks for the help. You were especially helpful today. And yeah, hope you guys have a good night. See you next time.